This week on Fit Talk with Sindisiwe, we look at the livelihoods at the Zandspruit squatter camp, how the people survive, how they live, and what challenges they face. Has enough been done? What can still be done to improve the livelihoods of the people?
It's a blessed afternoon once again. This is Sindisiwe at Fit, and I am so fit, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Welcome in studio. I am today dealing with a topic that, it's unfortunate, but we need to speak about these things. We stay in a place that's it's on Zandspruit here in South Africa. It's very close to a place called Zandspruit. Now, the population of that area is just over 30,000 people that are staying there. These people are not only South Africans, they are coming from the different parts of Africa. And when they come to the country, they come with a hope that from where they come from to where they have landed into, which is South Africa, that there will be a better life. And yet, the truth of the matter is our interest in this particular area called Zandspruit is not only on the grounds that we happen to be closer to the place, but it is also because we have had a group of young kids that were coming from this place at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. These kids did not have simple things as jerseys. They were freezing. They did not have, no electricity, no water, no food. And we needed to take care of them. In the same vein, we have people that are originally South Africans that have been, again, coming from other parts of South Africa that found themselves within Zandspruit. We spoke to a couple of them, just trying to establish what it is like to live in a place that is between that place and other parts where there is beautiful homes, big, beautiful homes, which means that not only are these homes, it means your basics, which is water, electricity, proper shelter, proper housing, is already available. And yet a few minutes from the very lively place, you have these people that are inhabitants of Zandspruit.
My name, I'm Alphonse Mashile. I'm the resident of Zandspruit here in INHUMANE, under seat of Johannesburg. I'm a community leader. Since I was here in 1994 until now, the way we're staying around the area is invaluation of human rights, because there is no service at all. So we try to meet with the department, especially City of Johannesburg and the Women and Settlement. But from now on, there is no way forward. So we try to make sure that we organize things to make our area to look at better. We have a relationship with the State City. Is the one they own the land around our area. And Pedro Fanzel for Jekyll Creek have land around our area. And again, Joey Terrace. So we build that relationship because they have money, they have land to change the shape of Zandspruit, because here we stay close to Jackal Creek. So if we build the squatter camp until close to Jackal Creek, which means the value of Jackal Creek will go down. So we have to get a proper house and proper infrastructure, because even now there is electric in this section, extension 16 Zandspruit, but there is an individual that have electric. Some didn't have electric. So we don't have to divide our community to make a divide and rule. So we need our community to come on board, and after that to come together to make sure each and everyone must have electricity, because the electricity is not a wants, is a need. It's like water. So we need our people to have electricity. And even some of the development, we need our community to run the project around the area to make sure that if we can have a home, we can have a disability places where, because we have a lot of disability, but the inside of the sheikhs, because his parents didn't know that's a gift from God. They shy for his children. So if we can have a place like that, we can know how many disability we have around our area. And again, we have the grannies that they didn't have families. So if we can have a old age home, is where we can manage to take the older people, we put them one place, we make sure that we have a care worker that can look after that disability, grannies. And again, the soup kitchen is very important, because we need our people to get a food each and every day, 3 times a day, 3 meals a day, because some of the people that are under medication, so but they didn't have a food to eat. So how can we drink the medication without food? So we have to eat. You will manage to eat it, to drink a medication. So we have a lot of challenges around our area. So we need our area, even the private sector. We try to approach the private sector to come on board, work together hand in hand, because here we have the neutral structure. We have the family of churches. It's where we group the pastors together to say, pastors, group them together. You'll have a one voice. And again here, we have the structure that we say is a men safety promoters. When the men, they come together, because some of the men, they say the men that are abusing, they are kill, they are raping. So in our structure, we say, not on my name, count me in to take a responsibility to protect the women and the children. So again, we have a women's forum that they work hand in hand with us, which means the women is the one we work together. And we have a youth forum that we work together, but we save under in municipality, work of a social development. There is our leader, is a Musambata. In province, work of Vatiswa. So which means we work hand in hand. We want to make sure that the new structure, it must be uplifted, because most of the time, the politician is the one they caused a havoc. Because when they come to the vote, you understand, they start to campaign, they give the people the vote parcel. After that vote, when they win the vote, they forget about the people. So now we need our people to know how important is the vote. Our people, he must know what they want in his life, and he must stand up and make sure he must write the memorandum of demand or a petition to say we need this. Because when our government will start to lead, it was go to the public to say what you want. But from now on, there's nothing like that. If maybe there's any blockage, if you call the councillor, he didn't come on board, we are the one who have to stand up, we assist the people. So we need our community to stand up and do things in his own. Because if you can fold up their hands to say, I'm suffering, nothing can happen. If you start something, is where God will give you a blessings. You will manage to move forward. So if you fold up the hands, you keep on crying, you'll keep crying the rest of your life.
What has become of our country is I feel like saying sheikhs are a pandemic as well. Because instead of them coming to, disappearing, it's almost like they are multiplying. And the question is that the best place for them that we call our brothers and our sisters, them that we love and we care about, to find themselves in a place where cardboard boxes are used as the walls and plastics are used as the roof. It is said that you and I have been and we are in a place that is properly a home with the basics that are required or that are a necessity in life. But having said that, we went to engage the community. Today, it is not just engagement of the community, but I also have with me today a very special guest. I would love for her to introduce herself so that we can hear from her where she comes from and how she has survived in a place where the things that I've spoken about are actually happening. Welcome, Buhle. Thank you.
Igama lami Buhle benkosi Donga, meaning the goodness of God.
Wow.
Fikile ngahlala ngase-Hebrew. I worked as a domestic worker for 2 years. Then from there, I moved because there was no more job for me.
Okay.
Bekuphelile umsebenzi because of 1 or 2 things ebengiziphambanisile, and the money was very small. Then ngabuya lapha eHoneydew. Ngazohlala eHoneydew. Then no, life wasn't easy for me. Things were so hard. Usuka from my flats at Hebrew, going to stay at a squatter camp. Yes. A squatter camp, yeah, bengajwayelanga umsindo kokuqala. You can't sleep peaceful.
Yeah.
Mawulapho omunye nomunye uvulela phezulu radio yakhe. Omunye nomunye ufuna ukuprove ukuthi it's got something. So it wasn't easy for me because mina ngimuntu othanda izinto ezithulele. I don't enjoy umsindo at all. And the other thing, electricity issues. Ukuthi uzothola umhlakazi, it wasn't easy for us. Sabona ukuthi njengoba vele kunzima ukuthi sikwazi ukuthenga ugetsi through Eskom, then we had to go to abantu abathengisa ugetsi illegal. Izinyokanyoka. Sebenzisa izinyokanyoka, izinto ziyasha endlini, nama-TV ayasha. Thola ukuthi ucharge ifoni yakho sichile already. No, at times uyahamba ama-days electricity lo wezinyoka because akuna mhlakazi o-straight. Into leyo beyenzeka isikhathi esiningi. And besingelayo indlela yokuthi siphume kuyo.
Yes, because the electricity was illegally into the community, brought into the community.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll wait to pay for ukudonsa umhlakazi ngemali enkulu. Siphinde futhi sichisela ama-TV wethu nama-electronics wethu endlini. And the issue of water ne-sanitation layo ibingekho nice at all. Ama-toilet uthola kuphuma ezinye izinto you cannot
healthy.
Yes. Kunama-diseases, kunama-infections. So lezi zinto besihlangana nazo, nami ngihlangana nazo even now because I'm still staying at Honeydew. So izinto ezinjalo yize sihlangana nazo ngama-challenges wethu. I wish ukuthi one day if i-government izokhona ukungenelela ikwazi ukuthi inikeze abantu indawo e-right, izindlu ezinormal, because emkhukhwini makushisa kuyashisa, it's like you are put in an oven. And makubanda kuyabanda, it's like you are in a fridge. Ngathi usemoshari ngathi. So it's not that easy ukuhlala in a squatter camp, and si-crowded kakhulu. Wesimanje kunabo corona. Noma ngathi uyazivalela endlini yakho ususe wena usifake esayidini ukuthi nawe ungatholi infection uyayithola because izinto zakhona sonke siyashare. We share the toilet, we share the tap. Lapho ukuthi sokhona amanzi. Negate yonke into yethu siyishare sibaningi. Thola ukuthi sihlala emkhukhwini ama-families ang-5 or more. So it's not that easy.
Yeah.
Emkhukhwini we survive. It is the survival of the fittest. Akula ukuthi loyo uyasonta, lo akasonti. Akula ukuthi maybe sithi low rich or low ayikho rich, konke kuyafana. Sonke siphuma kuma different places achiyeneyo. And then yeah, umkhukhu for me angiwuthanda umkhukhu. asiwishi yami ukuhlala emkhukhwini.
Yeah. You know, there are conversations that sometimes you say to yourself, I'm going to emotionally remove myself. But I don't think I can. And I think the reason is because I'm not sitting here with an animal. I'm not hearing an animal speak, but I'm hearing a human being speak. And what Buhle has just said is the reality not only of the over 30,000 Zandspruit people that we're talking about, but she is representing a voice of the many people that have called sheds homes. A simple thing that I would take for granted, that when I'm in my space, there must be quietness, there must be silence. She says when she moved from Johannesburg to Honeydew, she had to find herself where in that one shed there's about 5 families. When we were meant to build homes, we did not build homes. We selfishly took money that were meant for homes, and only God knows what we did with that money. We have an old lady who relocated to Johannesburg, particularly within the same space as well, called Zandspruit, literally in 1994. And you will hear her cry because she will be speaking later on. So the truth of the matter is, we are not discussing a problem that started yesterday. We're talking more than 2 decades, and this country has not changed. Somebody's heart, somebody's eyes, somebody's entire being has chosen not to see this. And yet, whether we like it or not, South Africans, whether we feel that we are in highly secured places, trust me, the things that are happening, the squatters that are everywhere, the unpalatability of life that they are experiencing, these are tears that will not go down unnoticed by God.
Mina ndingushila ne ndizalelwe eMonti eEast London. Igama lam ase ndithethile ne ndifike apha 94 apha. Mntanam oko njengoba ndibona njena ndiguge ndinje ndifike 94 ndim ndandizabalaza apha kule ndawo nomntanam ke omunye sena uhambile ke uye use Orange Farm bathi nguRotho igama lakhe. Kodwa awukabikho nto iqhubekayo oko sihleli apha akho manzi njengangoku susele izolo akho manzi namhlanje akho manzi. Ndingumhlolokazi ke mna ke andithethe inyani ndihlala ndindedwa kodwa ke nabantwana nezizukulu. From 94 bantwana bam nencwadi zam amaphepha atsho njalo oko ndahlala apha. Umkhukhu wam nangu yapha ngulowa. Indaba yanto
i-rape ne-abuse apha ekuhlaleni.
Ndiphila ngokuthandaza bantwana bam, ndamamkela uJesu ndibona ndinje. Ndiphila ngokuthandaza and mamelani mandiva goqo ngoba ndisenekdo ndithi ngegama likaJesu. Ngegama likaJesu unamanga Sathana unasabelo la ekhaya kuthi tu. Ndibize igama likaJesu bantwana bam phakathi kobusuku. Yeba phakathi kobusuku ndibize kuthi tu mawubeliever Thixo uyakuva.
Hey tenye into ofuna uyibona isenzeka apha eZandspruit.
Endifuna ukuyibona ngoku. Yazi bantwana bam ayindim ndedwa ixhegwazana la. Sibaninzi amaxhegwazana apha. ndifuna yazi ukuthi nisakhele izindlu njengangoku umntanami yaze bekhona izola ngithi ndiyakuxelela uhlale e-Orange Farm. Ndifuna indlu bantwana bam, ugogo ufuna indlu, umakhulu ndifuna indlu. Kudala ndaba lapha from 94 bandiva bandazi naba abanye ecangu kwam. Ndandizabalaza ungandiboni senditotoba ndinje. Eva ibulawa ngamadolo. Eva lalingafakwa libuya nodaka la kumla. Ngoba khonto iqhubekayo mina ndicela indlu bantwana bam tu, ndicela indlu. Indlu andayindim ndedwa ixhagwazana la, sibaninzi amaxhagwazana la. Ndikhathele kudliwa ngamagundwane. Ndidiniwe kudliwa ngamagundwane mntanami. Ndifuna indlu.
The real problem is, are squatter camps legitimate? Is that, are squatters a legitimate place to bring young people that must influence and become leaders of this continent, of this nation? The squatter camps are not stopping. Does this country have money, or it does not have money to deal with the matter of the squatters that are increasing daily? And yes, they have become a pandemic. What is it that you began to do to make sure that you survive within this very environment that was very different from where you were coming from?
Actually, mina ngasitshela ukuthi angilandanga ukuthi ngizokhala, especially nge-situation that I was facing. Ngasitshela ukuthi ngilanda ukuthi ngizosebenza, so ngaqala ukufuna umsebenzi. I had to tell people that I know that I need a job. And the other thing, mina ngumntana kaNkulunkulu. I'm a born again Christian and I love God. So into eyenzakala ukuthi I was praying every time ngiya esontweni, ngihlala ngaphansi kwemfundiso. Then izinto zaqala ke mama ukutshintsha. Zatshintsha ngathola umsebenzi. Ngesikhathi kuyenza icorona, I thank God because bese ngisebenza.
Amen.
And I thank God uNkulunkulu was there for me, wangiprotecta. Ngadlula kuzo zonke istage azange ngaba nayo icorona. I thank God for that.
Yes.
And the other thing, khona lapha emkhukhwini, yes, bengihlala khona bekungekho easy ma. Ke ngakhwehlela. Ngakhwehlela abantu bacabanga ukuthi maybe sengizoba infected. Noma kukhwehlela omunye umuntu or asiniza, you know, emkhukhwini kuba nzima. Ufila ngathi ungahamba uyohide somewhere, because wonke umuntu uzobe ekubhekile. Wonke umuntu uzobe azibuza ukuthi is it corona or it's normal. So mina ngiyabonga uNkulunkulu wami because ngikwazile ukuthi ngisebenze throughout, ngaphila futhi. Kulokho kunjalo uNkulunkulu wangipromote because bengivele ngifisa ukuthi ngibe nebusiness engilenzayo. So mina ngithengisa perfume.
Wow.
Like kunje kuyisama, so abantu bayajuluka. Amakhwapha nawo afuna ukuthi unuke kahle. So parafina yanuka kakhulu, noma ungena eTaxini yanuka. Sihlala khona ngama challenges wethu. Kumele sihlale sithenge i-deodorant ne. Sikwazi ukufaka poroloni, sifake nama spray angcono. Ukuze singazwakali phela ukuthi siphume squatter camp. So yiyo lento esiphilisayo thina abanye phakathi emkhukhwini, but kunabanye abangasebenzi. Kubuhlungu ukuthi mavuke ekuseni usiya emsebenzini ushiya abomakhi bakho abasebenzi nabo ngabafazi njengawe. Kubuhlungu. But i-government ngiyafisa ukuthi ngabe yabenzela ama-projects. Ibayenzela ama-projects abantu bekwazi ukusebenza belapho e-squatter camp, hayi ukuthi nje befike belokhe behlala, because ma bezohlala bazongena ku-prostitution. Bayathengisa imizimba abosisi bethu phandle. Bayangena emathaveni not because bayafuna, bayangena because omunye akanakudla. Akakwazi ukuthi imali yakhe uzoyithola kuphi, hamba uyohlala lapho ethaveni bamthengela amatshwala. The next thing akwazi ukuthi uthengelwa ngubani, maybe uthengelwe isigebengu, because abantu abaningi abayenza icrime babaleka aba emkhukhwini. Emkhukhwini there is no address, awuna address. Ezinye indawo futhi zi-west because there are no streets, akuna ama streets. So izinto ezinjalo.
If we don't change, if we don't, or if we decide not to see what is going on in the country for what it truly is. Whether we have raped, whether we have stolen or not, we are not different from the lives and what is going on in this particular context, which is Zandspruit. We bless God that in the midst of a place which is not suitable for human beings to live, somehow, because life comes from God, life does not disappear, or it does not come to an end on the grounds that where we are environmentally, it's not a good place. But we cannot underestimate the fact that a mindset that comes from a place like this one can never be the same as a mindset of someone whose life experience has always been from a sane environment. So sometimes we look at what is going on around the country. You heard Busha say, the people that are raping others, they are not raping them because of anything. Partly it's rituals, but partly it's also, how can I make life meaningful? Because the more idle a person is, the more there is a possibility in their minds to think of how I can make life exciting, because life has ceased to be of meaning. When a whole man wakes up in the morning up until sunset and there is no job, we need to understand that waking up to an idle state messes up the mind, messes up the thoughts, and invariably it will manifest in behavior that is a symptom of how messed up we are, or how messed up that mind is. I may not know how many shacks are out there. You may not know. But from those shacks, young babies are born. These are leaders. These are meant to influence lives tomorrow. What type of a future do you envisage when a child as young, as tender as 12 years old is already expected to go fend for herself by selling her body, prostitution, so that she can have clothes, she can have a meal, and she can have lights and water? If we think that these things are not affecting us, or they are not important, I'm not sure in what type of what is Ubuntu we are coming from, if the shacks have not meant anything to us South Africans. Was it 1994, 1992 when we voted? We are in 2020 now. And funny enough, prior to us experiencing freedom, I think shacks were less. So this is a cry. I don't know to whom I'm crying. I don't know to whom I'm making noise. But we have over 30,000 people, not very far from Randburg town, not very far from Eagles Canyon, not very far from Yolani places, not very far from the university, the Monash University, not very far from your so-called private schools. They are not very far. And one day we will wonder when they march to those places and say, can we have just a loaf of bread? It would be better if they ask for that loaf of bread, but it will be another when they take that loaf of bread by force. I don't know what we're building. If you are happy about it, South Africans, we can carry on as if nothing is happening. But we've had Ubusha right here saying to us, If she did not have God, I wonder the extent to which she would have also had to fend for her life through making herself available, hoping that that brother possibly has. So the people that end up selling their bodies for a livelihood, for life, it is not because they have the most beautiful bodies, but in their minds and in their reality, there is only one asset that they can sell. An asset that they are not meant to sell, which is a privilege to have and to keep. I am going to close this discussion, and I'm sure you know that it's her usual. I've got to ask Buhle to encourage people from Zandspruit before I wrap up. Just a word of encouragement, ma. You were able to survive. You survived through COVID. You jumped unemployment and you found yourself a job. Not only that, you also are self-sustaining by selling those wonderful perfumes which I've smelled. They smell very nice.
Thank you very much.
You know, and we need to support Buhle. Just few words of encouragement, Buhle.
Into engifuna ukuthi ndikhuthaze ngayo ukuthi let us keep on keeping on. Singalahli ithemba.
Yes.
Siphuphe.
Yes.
uNkulunkulu uthanda abantu ama daydreamers. Those who dream during the daytime. Bazophupha into ezofezeka.
Yes.
Singahlali sithi thina uNkulunkulu uzosiprovide. Sihleli phansi. We have to stand up and start acting according to what we desire to have. Into engayisho ku-community yeZandspruit ukuthi asingahlali futhi sizitshela ukuthi sizofela emkhukhwini.
Yeah.
No.
Bathi
dress where you are going.
Come on now.
So mina ngisitshelela ukuthi ngiyaphuma emkhukhwini.
Yes.
So nawe landela uphume.
Yeah.
Ungaphumi nge-shortcut but landela ama-principles.
Wow.
That's my encouragement.
Wow, awesome. I almost said clap hands for Buhle right there. Wow, you dress towards where you are headed. That's a powerful one, Buhle. That's a powerful one. Whoever you are, it may not necessarily be Zandspruit, but we're encouraging you. If you have found your life in a place that is not meant to be a place for human beings, do not give up hope. Do not think and do not even believe that that environment defines your future. You can still look unto a better place, but you've got to dream it. Outside seeing it in your mind, until you create a thing in your mind, it cannot come to fruition. Zandspruit people, and wherever you are, if you're staying in a shack and you would have the hope one day to watch and to listen and to view this, the word of encouragement is that place where you are, it may be a shack today, but tomorrow it may just be a proper home. Number two, it is critical that we remain positive. We are not defined by where we're coming from, but it does matter as to where we are headed. If you can dream it, if you can salivate, whet your appetite on a future that is straight. Buhle made it very clear that you cannot experience that if you're going to use shortcuts. So, dream a big dream. It may start small, but it will change your life. You can start small. It might be a roll-on today. It might be a lipstick. Ladies, if you're coming from these places, use the power in your hands. Find something to do with your hands. You can sew, you can do makeup. Just find something that you can do. I think I heard Buhle saying, we need to arise from that position position where we know we don't have. We have had the song, we have had the experience, but I think it is time that we say, let's stand up and do a difference to our own lives so that come 2021, we do not have and we do not find ourselves crying on exactly the same issue. That issue may change if you decide to change it in your heart and in your mind. South Africans, we can help them change the current situation to a better tomorrow. How do you do that? You can contact us. Our details are on the screen. Or you can also go to our website, and that is www.cindyministries.com or .co.za. You will find the 5000 Foundation, which is an NGO, non-profit organization that is trying to make a difference in the lives of those that we can be able to make a difference. I hope you are blessed. I hope you are challenged, though. And if there is nothing that you can do, I am sure that your prayer can actually change the situation that we're talking about. If it is not your prayer and you are able, I'm sure your pocket can change what we're talking about. We've got young girls there that just need a mentor. Young girls that need a mentor. I do not believe, we spoke as well to the man who is a counselor. I don't know whether he's a counselor, but he is in charge of Zandspruit. And he did say that, they have set up structures just to assist themselves to be governable. But those structures, out of a free will, when they don't know what they're going to go back and eat, when it is time to go back home, they help, but they also just don't help. So what I'm really saying is there are different structures which you can use to access this particular place within South Africa. Over 30,000 people is not a small number. And making a difference in one place may be the beginning. And if you have the money, instead of enjoying how many cars you have, instead of building an unsustainable legacy, you can go and partake in changing the lives of the people that look exactly like you. They've got the same breath, the same skin color, and they are in the same country where you are, in the same continent. South Africans, little by little, we can make a difference. Partake in making the difference. I hope to see you next time. Buhle, thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you.
I bless God that you were able to share freely, your experiences. We are hoping to see you next time. God still sits on the throne. God still sees even people that are coming from a place that you and I possibly look down upon and say it has got nothing to do with me. Hope to see you next time. Stay blessed.